She thought he was just a drifter cowboy. When she first saw him leaning against the old wooden fence outside the dusty diner at the edge of town, his boots worn. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Voice. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from you. Hat pulled low, and eyes carrying a quiet sadness that felt heavier than the saddle on his horse. And to her, a small-town waitress struggling to keep her family ranch from foreclosure, he looked like someone passing through with nowhere to stay, and no one waiting for him. So when he asked for a cup of coffee and paid with a few crumpled bills, she didn't hesitate to offer him a warm meal on the house, not knowing that kindness was something he hadn't received in years, because beneath the rough denim and sun-creased skin was a man who owned half the state's land, a self-made ranch tycoon who had vanished from high society after losing the love of his life in a tragic accident that left his heart locked away behind silence and solitude. And as days passed, he kept returning to the diner, listening more than speaking, helping fix broken fences, lifting hay bales, and quietly paying struggling farmers' debts without revealing his name, while she talked about her dreams, her fears, and the ranch her father built with his own hands, never once treating him as anything more or less than a man who deserved respect. And slowly something inside him began to soften, because for the first time in years, someone saw him without wanting his money, power, or influence, only his presence. And when a powerful land developer arrived in town threatening to buy out every struggling ranch, including hers, she felt helpless until the drifter cowboy finally stood up at the town meeting, removed his hat, and spoke with a calm authority that stunned everyone as he revealed the truth, that he owned the land, the banks and the contracts, and that no one would lose their home, the room falling silent as people realized. The quiet cowboy was the man whose name was whispered in boardrooms across the state. But what shocked her most wasn't his wealth. It was the way he looked at her with fear, afraid she would see him differently now, yet she walked up, smiled, and thanked him for fixing her fence and listening to her stories when no one else would, proving that her kindness had never been about who he was, but how he treated others. And in that moment, a man who hadn't loved in years finally felt something return to his chest, not because of power or riches, but because a woman believed in him when she thought he was just a drifter. And sometimes the greatest love stories begin when kindness is given with no expectations. If this story touched your heart, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel Kindness Voice for more emotional and heart-touching stories that remind us the